Well, hello there, motherfuckers. Now, it might be a little bit early to start bitching about Mania, but to me, I don't think anything is too early, because pretty much we know how Mania is going to go. We've got the big matches set, so there might not be a complete card, but the main matches are set already. So I think that now is a good time as any to talk about it. Let's just start with the main event, the world title match. Batista and Randy Orton. Who wants to see this? Nobody does. Nobody. Everybody has voiced their opinion. They're booing Batista. They boo Orton. And nobody likes either guy. But what do they do? What do they do? No changes are made. We're going to have a normal singles match for the title. Orton and Batista, one-on-one. It's really, no one's going to give a shit who the fuck wins it. It doesn't matter if it's Orton or Batista. Both of them suck. Now, normally, when Batista first came back, I know I was excited. I said, this is exactly what the WWE needs, star power. But then I saw him wrestle, and he wrestles like shit. So based on that, not just because, Daniel Bryan deserves that spot, that too, but, if I have to make a more compelling argument here, it's because he sucks at what he does, wrestling. Had 2 matches against Del Rio when he looked like trash in them. The guy is so fucking stiff, can't even move in there. He's like this, he's like a Frankenstein monster, he's just lumbering around. He looks like a goofball in the fucking ring. So based on that alone, doesn't deserve to be there. How the hell can a guy who has mobility issues be in the fucking main event? This is a spot for the best. The main event match, the 2 guys that go on last should be the very best that the company has to offer. To me, this is what they're showing. A guy who's boring, Orton, whose facial expression never fucking changes, hasn't changed his facial expression in 10 fucking years. He's had the same fucking stone face the whole fucking time. And then you got another guy who the whole crowd is booing, and he's supposed to be in the baby face position of this match. He's the guy you're supposed to be rooting for. I've never seen anything like this before. Where they're actually, usually you have a face and a heel. Occasionally there'd be 2 faces, so you can get invested in both guys. But no, this time around it's going to be like you're going to be booing the whole match. What the fuck is the point? You're not going to even care who wins the match? What kind of a match is that where you don't even care what the outcome's going to be? Because it's going to suck no matter who wins. The match itself will suck, and the result will suck, and the whole fucking thing is going to suck. How can you have a main event going in to a WrestleMania knowing that it's going to suck? What kind of a main event is this? This is a fucking trash main event. And you hear people are talking about this is kind of like Triple H and Orton at WrestleMania 25. It's a main event that nobody wants to see. People are saying no, but WWE is saying yes. And the crowd's saying yes because they want Daniel Bryan. But they're saying no to that and yes to this fucking bullshit. And to that I say, go fuck yourselves. That's all I gotta say about that shit. It's a main event that makes no sense on paper. It doesn't make any sense in execution. Why? Why have a match that nobody wants to see? This is sadistic. This is mental problems. I mean, why? If you're out there to entertain a crowd, if you're putting on a show like WrestleMania to present to an audience, why give them the very worst that you have to offer? It should be the best. Don't you save the best for last in the main event? Don't you give the best you have to offer on the biggest show of the year? Instead, you give us guys from fucking 10 years ago. This is a main event that should have been at WrestleMania 22, not WrestleMania 30. in 2014. Can you believe in 2014 we are seeing these wrestlers still at the top? I cannot even believe that we still even have these guys currently wrestling. I've never seen guys wrestle for this long. You know, you think back to Stone Cold, how long he wrestled. Now, I know he got out earlier than he was supposed to because of injuries, but none of the guys through the Attitude Era wrestled this long. These guys have been wrestling since the Ruthless Aggression Era all the way up to the PG era, and they're still wrestling. It's enough already with these guys. I have never seen this before. Then you got Daniel Bryan and Triple H, which isn't official yet, but you know what's going to happen. We have said no to this match. We have said that Daniel Bryan should be in the world title match, but we have said that. And they don't care what we think. So they're going to go ahead and put Daniel Bryan against Triple H. And the winner of this match is a very big gray area. But I have a very big feeling that Triple H's ego is going to get the best of him. They don't want Daniel Bryan to be at the top. The only reason he's gotten this far is because slightly that they are listening to us, because it would look foolish to not have Daniel Bryan in a big match without, with us cheering for him. It would look fucking ridiculous. But, this whole thing, the Daniel Bryan revolution, it's too big to ignore, so they got to do something with it. But God forbid they put him in a world title match to satisfy our needs. No, we got to have it against Triple H. If we're going to have anything with Daniel Bryan, that's going to be big on a big stage, it's got to have Triple H in it. Because Triple H has got to feed like a parasite off anything that's big. He's no better than Cena. There's these people out there that like to talk trash about Cena, but support Triple H. Triple H is a fucking parasite just as big as Cena, if not bigger. And at least Cena can move a little bit better in the ring than Triple H. Triple H can barely move. Can barely fucking move in there. Another guy with mobility issues. Just as bad as Batista, if not worse. So Triple H right now, this is like, I'd rather see it be Daniel Bryan versus Heath Slater or Drew McIntyre at this point. I'd rather see some fucking jobber against Daniel Bryan, because at least then you'd know it would be an even better match, because at least those guys could move in the ring. Instead, we're going to have a guy who could barely even fucking move a muscle in there, and Daniel Bryan is going to have to wrestle a fucking toolbox. Not just saying that Triple H is a tool, he's that too, but it is like a toolbox. It's just a big structure that could barely move. It's very cumbersome, So I don't even really see the point of doing this fucking match. Everybody has said that they don't want to see it. They want to see him in the world title picture. They want to see Daniel Bryan in the world title picture. Instead, what do we get? Just a fucking one-on-one match with a big egotistical, big nose motherfucker that's probably going to beat Bryan. He's going to try as hard as he can. This is the best way that they're going to do it. Think about it. If Triple H pins Daniel Bryan, that's going to let everybody's hopes go out the window. They're going to be like, oh, well, now he's not going to do anything. They're going to kill all his momentum right there. Might as well give up cheering for Bryan. And that's the mentality right there. Stomping on hopes and dreams right there. That's what Triple H is all about. I brought this up in the past when they first handed Triple H the World Heavyweight belt that's now been unified. There was a trip. It was RVD, him one-on-one. It was a good time to get RVD over. He wouldn't put him over. He buried him. He pinned him. Made him look pathetic. That's what you had right there. That was the situation, that they had. And I'm talking about something from 12 years ago. 12 years ago, motherfuckers. 12 years ago. And still, this is, the same story. What else you got on this card? What the fuck else? So you got Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Now this is a match that is probably going to be pretty good. I think that at the very least that it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a great match. But here's the thing. How long are they going to count on The Undertaker? Let's not forget that The Undertaker has had a prosthetic hip since the year 2000. And this man, I mean, he's only got so much left in him. There's only so much fuel left in the tank, motherfuckers. That they have to keep going back to guys like Taker. Now, not that I don't appreciate seeing Taker wrestle and everything, but it's kind of sad that they have to rely on him for excitement. I think back to the Attitude Era. They didn't have any of their old guys. There was no Hogan to reach out to. There was no Macho Man, Warrior, or anything like that. They were all in WCW. So they had to work with what they got. And that's what they refused to do. They refused to build any new characters, so they have to keep going back to the old. They have to keep on fishing to get The Rock to come back. They have to see, this whole Mania, this brings me to my point. They have to stop fishing in the past. Triple H, Taker, so it may be nostalgic, but the nostalgia is starting to fade. They need to start building new wrestlers. They have to start getting that Attitude Era mentality. That's how it was back in the Attitude Era. They had nobody to reach out to. They couldn't bring in, things weren't working out. They couldn't just call up Hulk Hogan and have him raise the ratings by 0.2 points. They had to have they had to count on who they currently had, and they had to have those guys work harder, give them new storylines and new characters. But instead, they're too busy shitting on their current talent to start building new stars. This is fucking pathetic. It's just mind-boggling, fucking horrible. They have no fucking future direction at all. This Mania just shows look at this Mania. Look, what does it say for the future? It's building Batista to be a big star. Something, Batista already, he had his big moment in 2005. 9 years ago was the time when Batista was a top star. That was 9 years ago, motherfuckers. And they're still going to do the same thing now? Why repeat the past? The guy is not even wrestling well anymore. Has proved that he can't wrestle anymore. And they're doing something from 9 fucking years ago? Then Triple H and Daniel Bryan, what does this do for Daniel Bryan? Why does he have to prove himself in a match with Triple H? Even if Daniel Bryan beats him, sure, it's satisfying to see him beat Triple H, but, really, what does that say for Daniel Bryan? What does that victory really do for him? It's not a world title. He's already gotten past this point. He's already beaten Cena. Why does he have to wrestle Triple H? For what fucking reason other than they have nothing else to do with him at Mania? They can't think of any other ideas. And then you got, I just already mentioned it, Taker and Brock Lesnar. It's going to be a good match and everything, but these guys have been wrestling since 2002. We've already seen it. We've already seen them in, in a Hell in a Cell match. This feud has already been, I'm telling you, it's a feud that's 12 years old already. They wrestled 12 fucking years ago for the first time, and now they're going to wrestle again. Just because it's at WrestleMania, does it really make it any different? I said I'm looking forward to the match. Yeah, I want to see it. I'm not going to turn my nose up at it. But it's just a great example of how they should really be trying to look towards the future. Do something with this talent that they have now. Pretty soon this talent is going to get too old to do anything with it. They're not going to even be able to bring these guys back because it wouldn't make any sense because they're not big stars. They've shit all over their fucking talent. A guy like Dolph Ziggler, they tried to build him up and they just throw him back down. And and Daniel Bryan is just, it's just basically a flat line. at this point. He's just coasting along here. There's no uphill, there's no downhill. It's just one straight line of just nothing happening, nothing growing from this insane popularity. You know, when the popularity started for Stone Cold, it was an uphill rise. They just started mounting victories, big moments, and, you know, big segments and promos until eventually won the world title. And then it was big business from that point on. This, they refuse. They refuse. It's, you know, great match after great match from Daniel Bryan, but no rewards, no nothing. So as you can see, this WrestleMania 30, which is, you know, monumental. This is 30 years of WrestleMania. They've made it to 30. Very impressive indeed that this is a 30th WrestleMania. But this card is not looking like something from WrestleMania 30. It's looking like something from WrestleMania 20. It's looking like something from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, motherfuckers. Why is this Mania seems dated? It doesn't seem like it's up to date. It doesn't seem like the Mania for the future. Very fucking lazy bullshit here. And I've never seen this before. And I can't stress enough how much that main event is a piece of fucking trash. The fact that they're even doing that, how is this appealing? That nobody wants to see it and no one is even going to be cheering for anybody in that match. How can you have a wrestling match where nobody is even cheered for? Where the crowd will be dead. They will be chanting Daniel Bryan's name. They might even be chanting CM Punk's name, what have you. Thing is, it's like, how moronic is that going to look? What does that say about them as a company that they don't even give a shit? They're going to just throw a piece of shit out there. They might as well put a toilet in the middle of the ring full of fucking shit. You know, at least I will applaud them for originality. Instead, no, we have to get the figurative pieces of shit in there. Yeah, so there you go. WrestleMania 30, biggest WrestleMania of all time. They say it every year, and this is the biggest one yet. But you know, it's gonna be pretty fucking shitty, I think, unless they make a couple little adjustments. But you know, doesn't look like they're planning to do it. All right, motherfucker.